Hey, this is Bryan. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you haven't done so already, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com. So today, we are working on this BMW E90, and we're going to show you how to install a BimmerTech Rear View Camera. Whenever you're working on any electrical components in your BMW, you always want to make sure that you disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. So in the E90, the battery sits right back here. Just take a 10mm, loosen that nut, just remove the terminal, and then you can press it down right there to the side. Now with the battery disconnected, you don't want this to shut because it's going to be very difficult to open. So what I like to do, I like to just get a bunch of towels. So this way, if anybody tries to close the trunk, they will not be successful and we will not get locked out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the trunk prepped to install our new handle. So as you'll see, there are a number of these plastic clips. Basically the way that these work is you get a trim tool, you slide it in here just like that, you pop it up, and then the entire piece is going to pull out just like that. Once you've removed all 6 of those, you want to take your safety release handle, just press in the middle and pop this little cable out, set that to the side, and then you need a T25 to remove these 2 screws. There's one there and one there. Once you've done that, just take this carpet, rock it down, and set it in a safe place. Now what we need to do is we need to pop the old handle out so we can get the new one in. So to do so, what I like to do is go from behind. Now this car has this plastic piece. Some of the cars will have this and some won't. So all you need to really do is just pull this and move it out of the way. And then what you can do is you can reach your hand up through this hole right here. And there are these little retaining clips. So if we take a closer look at the new handle, you'll see that there's just 2 clips on this side, and then there's just a couple clips on the back. So nothing major. All you need to do is just reach over and then just press down. All right. So just press down. There we go. Perfect. And we'll just pull this out and disconnect the connection. With the OE handle out, we can see the difference in this one and also the BimmerTech one. So as you can see, the camera is fully molded in. So it's not chunky, it's not hanging off the license plate. It's going to look like it came like this from the factory. So what we'll do is we'll take that old connection that we removed from the old camera, we'll plug this in, feed it through just like that, and we'll take the other end of our new cable here, and we'll feed this down in here, pull it up just like that, and we'll get our new handle, and we'll clip it in and check that out. All right, here's a shot of it fully installed. So as you can tell, it looks like it came like that from the factory. Now what we're going to do is we are going to feed the rear view camera cable from the rear of the vehicle all the way up to the dash. So to do this, I would recommend having some electrical tape. I like to use a hanger like you would get from the dry cleaner. And you're also going to need some Vaseline because it's going to make your life a lot easier. Now what you need to do is grab your rear view camera extension cable, and you want to find the end that has the little white connection. This is going to go from the inside of the car. It's going to go up through this little tube right here, and then it's going to get connected. So again, you want to grab the white side and you want to go up because that's going to make sure that everything is done correctly. So at this time, what you can do is just grab your hand and you can release the rubber from the car here. Okay, just like that. Next, what you want to do is take your coat hanger. I like to bend the end of mine and also put some electrical tape on it. And you're going to feed it down through this little wire loom right here. And be very careful because you don't want to poke any of the other wires. What I like to do, I like to pinch it so it's an oval shape. And then that way what you can do is you can just follow the channel that you're pinching. And that seems to be the easiest and the safest way to do this. All right, great. And there we have it. We are all the way through. All right, so our wire goes in through this rubber tube, and as you can see, out the bottom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be feeding that wire through the car, so let's take a look at the underneath. And as you can see here, there's another wire going through. We're gonna try to run the wire similar to where this wire is run. So this is the hole we need to feed our rear view camera extension cable through. All right, so we're just gonna take our cable right here. We're just gonna feed it up here. So we're gonna take this connection just like that, and we're gonna tape it to our wire here. And I like to just put a little bend in it so it's easier to get out. Then what you wanna do is put some Vaseline on it. Just very careful. Just feed it up just like that. Then what you can do is just wipe it off, and then you can undo the tape. And there we have a dry, perfect condition cable ready for the camera. Then what you can do is you can take this cable right here, and a lot of times you don't need any tools to do this. You just feed it out that hole, just like that, and that way nothing's going to get pinched or anything. Then you can take your cable, you can secure it there. I like to put a little piece of electrical tape over it, or heat shrink, just to make sure that nothing's going to come unplugged. Then you can take this piece of plastic here, you can just pop this back into place. Okay, just like that. Put a piece over here. Then what you can do is if you have any excess slack, you can pull it through. And then I'll pull this out the bottom. Then at this point, you can take these, and you can reattach it to the car. All right, perfect. All sealed up. Now what we need to do is we need to continue feeding that rear camera extension cable all the way up to the front of the car. Now this car has a fixed seat, so if your car has a fixed seat in the back, it's the most difficult, but it's not impossible, and I'm going to show you some tricks that I've learned along the way on how to do it best. So the first thing that I like to do, especially if there's a fixed seat, is I like to pop up the rear portion of the seat. So to do so, you reach pretty much in the middle of where your passenger's legs would be, and you just pull up. So do that on that side, and then do it on the other. Once you've popped that out, you can just get the seat and move it out of the way. Now this next part is optional, but if you do it, I can promise you that it's going to make your job a little bit easier. There are two T50s. There's one right where my socket is right now, and then there's one over here. So if you loosen these, you're going to be able to pull out the bottom of the seat a little bit better, and it's going to make it a lot easier to feed that wire through. So at this time, I'm not going to completely remove them, but I am going to loosen this bolt and this bolt. Now what you can do is just take this wire and just carefully tuck it in all along this perimeter right here. And then all the way down the side over here. Now that the seat's a little bit loose, you can just take this cable and just feed it right down. And then you'll be able to just reach up behind your seat, grab your cable, and then just pull it all the way out. All right, so at this point we have our cable through. We gave it a little quick vac to clean up some of the lost treasures in the seat there. We're gonna pull out this pin right here. So just pull out the middle, and then just pull out that part. And then what you can do is just get your hand under here and just very slowly start to pull up, and then just work your way from the left to the right, right to the left. Then what you can do is just get your hand under here and just slowly lift up. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but we'll make it happen. Okay, and then just set that to the side. Then we need to remove this piece of trim right here. So same thing, you just reach your hand under this trim and just slowly pull up, just like that. Okay, and then that'll pop off to the side. Now a note on reinstalling, so as you can see all of the clips stuck in the car. This is perfectly normal. Sometimes you can get them out with your hands, sometimes you can't. These seem to be pretty stuck in there, but basically what you do is you go back with pliers, you pull these out, and then you slide them into these tracks right here, and then you press it back into place, and that's how they work. All right, so we have that piece of trim removed. We have that piece removed. Now we need to get this piece right here. So to do that, you want to just get your hand under here. There's two clips. There's one about right here and one about right there. So we'll see if we could do this with one hand. Pop that side out there. Then on the other side, I'll get my hand under here. Pop that out just like that. And this piece of trim, it'll just slide down, and then you can slide it out. Then reach behind your seat belt, grab your cable, and pull it through, just like that. This can get tucked in there. And then what you can do is you can just follow this wire harness right here all the way down under the carpet to the front of the car. So what I like to do, again, I like to use that Tessa tape. I like to just go every 6 inches or so and just tape it off. At this point, we have our rear view camera cable all the way up here, and we need to get to the side of the glove box. We're going to be mounting the multimedia interface right in the section right here. So to do so, you're going to need to carefully pry out this piece right here. Just go very slow and just work it off. Okay, so here's what this looks like. There's a clip that looks like this on the bottom, and there's one on the other side, and then there are these little push pins that sit in the middle. Now with that out of the way, we can undo these 4 Phillips heads. There's one here, 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 and here, and we're going to slide out the cup holders. So once you've done that, you can move the cup holders out of the way. Sometimes if you expand them, they're a little bit easier to get out of the way. Okay. Now we're still trying to take out the glove box, but while I'm sitting here, I'm just going to remove this dash trim. So just start at one end or the other, and just very carefully, very slowly work your way across. Then what you can do is reach behind, disconnect the start-stop button. Then once the start-stop button is removed, you can slowly pull this out a little bit more. And at this time, you can disconnect these connections. All right, back to the glove box. Now what you need to do is grab yourself a T20. There's a T20 right over there. And then there's one on the other side. So let's start by removing those 2. Then once you've done that, you can just take this bottom piece of plastic and you can lower it down. Just disconnect any of these connections, and then you can just pull it out. When you open your glove box, you're going to see 4 more T20s. So at this time, you can remove those. Then if you look down the side there, there's one on this side, and then there's one on this side. Then with those removed, I'm going to reach your hand up in here and loosen everything. The glove box will come right out. And just make sure that you disconnect the couple connections, and then you can set this in a safe place. Now that we have our glove box out, I'm going to show you where we're going to mount it. So basically the multimedia interface is going to get mounted right back here. But before we do that, let's pull out the screen. Now what you can do is you can release the 2 screws. There's one right here, there's one right here. This is a T10, so it's a very tiny Torx. Then once you've done that, you gently rock the screen down, push the bottom up, and then rotate it out. And what you can do is just rotate this around and release the 2 clips that are secured. Then what you can do is you could take your Y splitter, looks just like this. It's going to connect on here, and then you're going to take your power extension cable. You're going to hook it on here. But before you do that, you need to feed it through here, and then as you can see, let's see if I can get this back up there. I have my wire going back up the back right there again. So basically what we need to do is we need to get the extension cable down this way, we need to get this down this way, and we need to get our new video cable up this way. So at this time, you can work on that. All right, and here's our power cable connected to the Y splitter. So we're going to take the connection that we took out of the actual screen. We're going to plug that in. You can press that in the back here. So all we really need is this white connection and also this video cable. So then we'll take our white connection, we'll plug it in the side. Then we'll get our video cable. We'll plug that in as well. Okay. We can just clip these in the back as they were. We'll tuck these other wires in back here. Okay, then what you do is you put the bottom in like this, and there's these little hooks. They'll grab the bottom, and then it'll rock up in place. Then at this point, what we need to do is we need to set these dip switches over here. Basically, this is telling the car, are you installing a rear camera, a front camera, a SmartView, which is going to mirror your phone on the factory display. So for information on what all of these dip settings do, be sure to check out the description. All right, the dip settings look good, so let's keep going. Now it's time to get everything hooked up and we'll do some final testing. So, AV in and out. As you guessed, you're going to hook in all of your AV cables. Then you have power. This is what's connected to the back of the screen. We're gonna hook that in here. Then where it says mode, you're gonna use this little button right here. This is going to get plugged in right in the front. Then your IR cable gets plugged in next. Then last we have our LVDS in and our LCD out. So the LVDS in is that factory BMW cable we removed from the factory screen. That's going to go into the in, and then out is going to go out to the screen. So you have to think it's head unit, then it goes into the multimedia interface, then it goes out to the screen. So these are a little tight, so I'm just going to connect those and then we'll do some testing. Then once you have everything else connected, what you're going to want to do is locate this yellow connection right there that says rear C. We're going to connect that. You're going to get this white connection and you're going to put it under rear on the multimedia interface. All right, then before we can start to do our testing, it's a good idea to put your dash back. Now you don't have to remove your dash. I just like to because it gives you a little better visibility. Here you can see where we mounted our IR sensor and also our mode selection switch. Now typically the mode selection switch, not many people actually use it, and the IR sensor is really only used once. So once we do some initial setup, our customer can just tuck this up and out of the way and keep it out of sight, but know exactly where it is if you ever need to get to it. All right, at this point everything is fully installed. All the trim is reassembled, so we'll start our car up, shift the car into reverse, and up pops this beautiful screen, complete with dynamic parking lines. Now, one of the cool things about the BimmerTech MMI system is if you ever wanted to install a front view camera or a SmartView, which is a device that enables you to mirror your mobile phone on your factory screen, you have the ability to add those on either when you're installing the rear camera or at a later date. Once you've done your final testing, it's now safe to reassemble your car. Once again, this is Brian. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you liked today's video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com for all your BMW retrofit, performance, and aesthetic needs. Again, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.